Hello to the chicos and the chicas. Welcome back to the next video from the Champions Chess Tour. This time round on the menu is a particular person that is none other than Nodirbek Abdusattorov, who is after a very stylish revenge. A couple of days ago I posted a video in which a lovely student of mine through a chessable course defeated Nodirbek in a simultaneous using my 1d4 beginner repertoire, which I made a video about, and now Nodirbek is back at me with, as I said, the most stylish revenge, because he is now playing a sensational game against Mamedyarov Shakhriyar, featuring the beloved London system. You have to give it to the young grandmaster. He really knows how to fight back in style, at least to me. So now I am presenting to you this masterpiece by Nodirbek that features the London. And as you would expect it, by about move 9 or 10, black is slightly better, but don't worry about that one. That comes with the deal. However, as you often find with the London, by the way, it is quite possible to play really stunning masterpieces with the white pieces, because very often you find, especially when you play against the likes of Shakhriyar, that they really try to come after you, they overextend, they burn the bridges, and they get punished. And that is basically the script of this game. So without me spoiling the rest of it, let's just go ahead and watch what happened. G5, bishop G3. So at this point, the most natural reaction, I would say, is to grab the two bishops, play queen b6, play for e5. Black is totally fine, slightly better. But Mamedyarov had a different idea, and he really wanted to hit very hard in the center / king side with f5. And I think that this is the first step towards the wrong direction. And Nodirbek, he very calmly and cleverly just refutes this overextension, or at least deals with it in a very calm and positional fashion. Trades off all the good pieces on the black side, the knight and the bishop. And now we have got a very much like a French structure where the black minor pieces seem to be a little bit offside and weird. And also the black king seems to be quite airy and vulnerable. And there is not a lot to show on the plus side for black. For this pawn lunges on the king side. So overall, I say that I would have to say that Nodirbek treated the situation really well in the early opening / middle game, and now he's definitely having the upper hand. And from here on out, what he does is really nothing but the Morpheus chess school with the greatest principles in play. Development, piece activity, and material is like secondary importance. Beautiful chess. Watch. Knight f3, queen c7, rook e1, g4, and knight d4. Right there for ya. He goes, you want my pawn? Have it. Because I would much rather have this file open in the attack than having the e5 pawn that actually clogs up the position. Mamedyarov takes, queen d2, queen d6, knight b5, kicking the queen one more time, bishop f1, opening up the file for the rook. a6 was played, knight d4 was played, excuse the noise, e5 was played, g3 is played. And by now you really do see the strong contrast between the two armies. The dreaded back rank fest that I talk so much about in my chessable courses, in particular in development, is now going to play the major role in this game. Despite that, black still had a chance here to stay in this game, but he had to pick the correct knight move. There are two of them available, knight h5, knight g6. Seemingly, knight g6 is the worst one, because now queen takes h6 hits with a tempo and the king is forced to come out. And yet, the engine proves this variation to be correct, because now after queen h7 check king f6, the queen is actually in severe danger, and so this attack can't progress anymore. Instead, f3 is recommended, leaving the knight on prey, a motif we are going to see later on in the game more. Queen g5, ed, fg, and a very weird dynamic equilibrium arises in the game where black is a piece up, but the king is extremely exposed. White has got lots of pawns for the piece. So a really fun position that the engine evaluates as 0.0. There you go. Instead, Mamedyarov went for what appears to be safer, to put the knight to g7, where he didn't have to compromise the king's safety by having to move the king. The issue with this layout is that it's extremely clumsy. The knight on g7 is a really poor defender of the king because it covers none of the highlighted squares. When you have got a fianchettoed bishop here, that covers an awful lot of squares in the vicinity of the king. But a knight, a fianchettoed knight so to speak, is one of the clumsiest defenders. In fact, more often than not you find that they are actually a hindrance to the defense, because if I had a queen, for example, on the 7th, that would cover everything. But with the knight in the way, it's not possible. And now comes again what I described earlier as the Morphian chess school. Rook d1. I could also quote Yasser, the legendary Yasser here. Bring all the boys to the party. And the girls too. And yeah, Nodirbek here plays really, really inspired chess. Obviously, capture is not possible, I thought, on account of rook e7, but nay, it's a lot better than that. Instead of rook e7, which would actually give up all the advantage after rook f7, the correct move is the shocking bishop g2, and, well, the move is not shocking, the effect is. d5 is not defensible. It's just so surreal. You would think that, oh, surely it is, well, good luck. Queen d6 is not possible, queen e5 is not possible, bishop e6 gets captured, and rook d8 is met by rook e7. That's it, game over. So the knight had to remain on the board, and instead queen c7 was played, bishop g2 was played, and this is one of the most instructive moments in the game as far as I'm concerned. You can see here the two wills, the players' wills clashing really, really strongly head-on with one another. White says, I want to open files and diagonals, please take me. Black says, I want to keep all these files closed and the diagonal as well, so that your pieces can't come to my very poorly defended king and you can't exploit my poor development either. And then Nodirbek says, no, I'm gonna break it up anyway. And he plays c4. Now the engine claims that this is an inaccuracy, and it wants to play knight f2, knight e2, knight f4 with a regroup towards that side of the board. Very logical. But I love c4 for the crystal clear logic and the very aggressive intent behind it. It says, I'm gonna blast it open, or if you take, I've finally created an open file that I can utilize. And this chess is just so beautiful. It's very simple in its presentation, but it's so difficult to play like this because, of course, people are attached to material and they don't even look at ideas like that. But when you look at the big picture, the idea of blasting it open so that our pieces can come to the fore and actually attack the king, it just looks like, yeah, it was written in the stars that this had to happen. Takes, and of course, now comes the real beauty. Rook takes e4. Now that is definitely worthy of a picture by Picasso. That is just divine stuff. Now the files and diagonals are well and truly open, and after takes, the attack on h7 is truly tremendous. I don't want to bore you with engine lines, but apparently bishop f5, bishop d5, rook f7, knight f5, knight f5, queen g5, king f8, queen h5, king g7, queen g4, king f6, takes is the best possible way to play for black when white is slightly ahead. Now, I don't want to pretend that I understood all of those moves. I certainly didn't. This is the engine's recommendation, and I'm just going to rest my case with, yep, if Shak didn't have 2 minutes on the clock, but maybe an hour and 30, he would have found these moves. But as it is, he actually failed to come up with the goods and played rook f7, and now the white attack just crashes through in a spectacular fashion. Check, bishop g6, queen e5, and king f1. And this is the last point that I really want to show you and explain how I approached it when I first analyzed the game, because I think it's extremely instructive. When I go through games like this, I often like to turn off the engine and figure out stuff for myself, because I like doing that. Now, as soon as I saw king f1, I mean, like, surely rook e1, like, that's a no-brainer, and then there is mate. But some little devil in the back of my mind told me that there is more to this than what meets the eye. And so after establishing with myself that, yeah, rook e1 is carnage, I turned the engine back on, which recommends king g8 and queen d5 being the two best moves for black, but both of them are totally dead lost. And I just asked the engine, yo, what are you doing after a5? Just to play an ultimate pass. And the engine goes f4. And I'm like, hold on a tickerino. Engine turns off. I play rook e1, and I'm like, what on earth is f4 about? And then I realize, rook e1, rook f2, check. And after king f2, queen takes d4, it's a perpetual check with check, 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 check. Because if I block with the rook, I even lose. Excuse me, after bishop e6. So the sheer genius is that we need to play actually f4 first, forcing on Poisson, blocking the f-file, and then rook e1 now wins because black can no longer sack the rook. And after something like, let's say, queen takes e1, king e1, f2, king f1, black doesn't have the power or the means to kick the king out from f1, and white is going to convert because now places are going to drop on the king side. Breathtaking stuff. Absolutely divine. I actually don't know if Nodirbek saw that. I'm guessing he did. It would be foolish to assume not. But king f1 is a very strong message about rook e1. And I believe that that's why Shach ended up playing queen f6, which actually meant that he just jumped out of the frying pan right into the fire. Because now this is the beautiful coup de grace. Knight f6, coup de grace. Knight c6 check. And this is now mate. If I take with the pawn, it's check and it's mate. Beautiful geometry with the bishop and the queen. If the queen takes, it's another beautiful geometry this time around on the two files. And that is checkmate. And the game continuation was king e6, knight d8, king back, knight f7, queen takes g6, and knight d5. And now there are all kinds of mate threats pending. Black is absolutely beyond saving. He played queen f6, allowing a mate in 4, check. And I think that was the point when Mamedyarov resigned. The finish would have been king e6 check, takes, and mate here, mate here, mate. Actually, that's not mate, but these two are. So you can take your pick. So that was the absolutely stunning victory achieved by Nodirbek Abdusattorov, giving me a stylish response to the video I posted about 4 videos ago. Nonetheless, I'm happy for the young man for scoring such a beautiful victory, and I'm super excited to be back tomorrow with the rest of the tournament. So thank you very much for watching this. Please don't forget to sub, to like, to comment, and to super like, and I will be back with more tomorrow.